the agenda. All in favor? Motion to approve the May minutes. I'll make a motion. That's all right, and a second. I'll second. Is there any discussion, questions, corrections? Compliments?
Please, the agenda and minutes.
No, it's not exactly how the meeting starts. I have to think of it. It says like that though, if it's easier, just write that side.
All right.
Yeah, no.
Pending that correction? Okay. With that correction, all in favor? All right, we're moving on to the director's report. And Kim, you might probably cover the building and that here.
Yeah,
It's yours.
I got a lot to go over. Very funny. If anyone wants to take a look after the meeting, feel free. It's cute. Yeah, absolutely. It's coming out good. I'm liking it. I think it looks great. So to start off, we have a lot going on in the next 2 months because of summer reading, and so we have a lot of programs that I've set up. So what I have set up here is most of July's stuff. There might be a couple of other things, but then I'm going to have August's hopefully soon finished as well. So that'll be good. But our main thing that we're going to be doing is we are having a bubble party for a summer reading kickoff party on the Tuesday, the 24th. So that'll be a lot of fun, I hope. Please keep your fingers crossed that it doesn't rain, because if it does, we're in trouble. Via Aquarium will be here on Monday, the 30th. I think we should be okay. I'm doing things a little bit differently this year in terms of the summer reading stuff. We're not going to be giving out all of the packets of stuff that we normally, because I'm thinking about it as a parent, and it'd be like, I would have just tossed most of that stuff. I'm just bringing all of that home. And I know that part of the things that can be sometimes challenging is when you're doing summer reading and you have to write down all the books that your kids are reading. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this is so much work. So this year, we're going to do a little differently. They're going to get one sheet of paper, and it's going to have a palette on it, and it's going to have 20-minute segments. So every time you read for 100 minutes, come to the library, get a small prize. Read for another 100 minutes, come back to the library, get another small prize. So hopefully people will start coming in, and that will just be something to, engage everybody. So hopefully we'll keep it that way. And that will be good. I'm not going to do too much other stuff because it's a lot of work, and I feel like it's not always used. So there might be a couple of other things that kids can take, like challenges if they want to, but nothing huge.
But it is all my work.
Yeah.
Because they're not old enough to but Sierra can't write the titles and stuff. So
exactly. And New York State's not asking for how many books did they read this year, how many minutes did they read this year. So done. We're good. We're going to be doing a computer class on Mondays and Tuesdays for 5 weeks beginning in July. That's going to be for seniors. So if you know anybody who could use computer classes, please let me know, because we could definitely sign people up for that. We're doing a Bluey party. That should be a lot of fun. Well, I'm not doing it. Sadie will be doing that one. Some pastel drawing, bracelets. And then one fun thing, Robin Catalano is going to do a program about the Erie Canal and how it's celebrating 200 years. The New York State Museum has given us free printables to have printed. We could do them as poster size, but I'm not going to do that. As for information sheets to talk about the Erie Canal. So, and Robin has written 3 articles so far. One of them an award-winning article on the Erie Canal. So I thought that was going to be a lot of fun. I have a lot of other stuff, but we can You'll hear about that at the next meeting because it's all for August. Um, we've been doing some pretty good programs. Masterpieces and Mocktails was definitely a success with 20 people in this tiny. They had a good time. Yeah. What I heard, I was not here, but they did have a good time. We did have our homeschool, again, homeschool stuff has been going really well. We had 27 kids or 27 attendees at the last one. And then we had our homeschool picnic, but it was pouring rain. So everyone just kind of hung out in here, but there were 20 people here for that as well. Jen, I didn't know if the CPR class you did on Saturday, was that, how many people did you have?
It was 3 on Thursday, 2 on Saturday.
Oh, okay, good. Right.
So,
Awesome. Yeah, so that's where that stuff is. If you want to look at the circulation, we are down a little bit this month in terms of circulation, but except for adult books we went up. But again, not a huge thing. So you can see the charts there. In terms of our patron visits, one thing to notice, yes, the green line is higher than the blue line, but that was in 23, and that was when we had the expedition. So had we not had the expedition in there to skew our results, we would be at a higher level today than we have been in the past. We have more visits, more people coming in, which feels like it because there are definitely days when it's super busy. So it's been good. You can see our registered patrons. We did add, I think we added 2 adults and 1 kid this past month. So we have at least 2 adults and 1 child who are new to the area. See what I've been doing in terms of collection development. I did withdraw 182 items this month. And that was probably less than 182 because it was time for moving collections, but I got rid of children's books that hadn't been used in over 10 years. So, and a lot of them were really scuzzy looking and it was time for them to go. So, so we did that one. And then I did a couple of things from the JFIC collection too. But for the most part, it was just some picture books, which we've been giving away and people have been really happy to get. So, all right, that works. Okay, so I'll just go straight into the stuff with construction because that's been my life for the past couple of weeks. We did have a kickoff meeting on May 19th, which was great. We met with the architects, we met with MR2. Mike Colleen was here, Rodden was here, John Laporta was here, Jen, you were here. So it was a really good way for everybody to see the space, get started, get used to, understand, start coordinating everything. The permit has been on my desk or is on my, we do have a permit, thank goodness. Work began on the 21st. The rooms, you can see on the back where I have all of the little construction update pictures that we've been doing. Sheetrock's in, closets in, furnace has been taken out, walls were taken out. The equipment, Rodden worked with with Mike, and they were able to move everything, and we were only down for a couple of hours in terms of internet, which was great. And that is now all mounted in the new closet, so that's where it needs to be and is not going to have to be moved. Tomorrow, John will be here to do the heat pumps. He's already done the heat pumps in my office and in the main, the old section of the building, and they're working great so far. It's really lovely to be able to say, oh, it's too cold in here, I can turn my office, my stuff down. That one, I forgot to put this in my report, but there is a Wi-Fi adapter or I don't know if it's a Wi-Fi adapter, but it's an adapter of some sort that we can put into these heat pumps that will allow us to be able to monitor things through an app. They're $120 a piece, and we would need one for each bit. So that's why I haven't said to John, yes, please. I wanted to ask you guys, make sure that you were okay, but it makes sense just in case,
What does it mind?
Well, whoever has the app can can change the temperature, can, has control.
Thermostat.
Yeah, it's like the thermostat now. So, but it's also another, $360. So do we want to spend that much money on that? Or just leave it and I can program it and make sure it's, running So I'll put that out there and I'll keep going and you guys can think about it. Just so that you can keep track of things on, if you see that the temperature is not at the right temperature and I can take a look at it and change it right on my phone, or if it's too cold or it's too hot, you can bump things up or down.
You can do it.
Do everything can be done remotely. Yeah. I think it would be about 360.
It would be, I mean, I could see a beneficial thing to it too, like if there's a problem, you would be able to see it right away, even if you're not here. If the temperature is plummeting or if it's skyrocketing because of a system issue, you can see it right away. I mean, that's kind of a benefit to save things from happening.
Yes.
Have you used the app for the thermostat?
Couple of times when it's been too hot or it's too cold or too hot, I've been able, staff will say, oh, can you bump it up? And I'll just bump it up, or they ask if I can, or they can do it, and it's fine. So I wouldn't say I use it often, maybe once a month, if that. Although I did just get a text message saying that the humidity in here was too high. So I should really go around and look and check our windows and make sure everything was closed up. But that was when we had the picnic and we had the door open so that the people, so okay, well, I guess it's working. The room has been wired for electricity. The new light fixtures are not going to be here until July, probably the end of July. The proposal that Sarah just handed out, Mike put together a proposal to, he said we could put temporary lighting in. We wanted to, so we could use the space until those lights come in. Yeah, I got one in here somewhere. So I said that I would bring the proposal to you guys and let him know. So he would install 2 temporary LED light fixtures in the new ceiling. Oh wait, he's saying they're not going to be here until August. If that makes sense. So once he would put those in, and then obviously once the new fixtures come in, then he would put that on. I'm inclined to say we should do that just so that we can continue. Once the light fixtures and the furniture are going to be the last things to be delivered. The furniture is not going to get here until probably September. So we will be able to use the space though once carpet's in, and which all should happen relatively soon. We just won't have any lighting in there. So we could potentially move some of this stuff back into the room so that kids could use that as a playroom until it's ready. It's an extra $550. Either way, whatever you guys decide works. I mean, it's all good. And it's the summertime too, so it's not as if it's going to be completely dark in there. So if we want to save it.
What would be the other option if we didn't do it? There just wouldn't be any.
There wouldn't be any lights in there. Yeah. No. Kind of like.
I think it would be more inviting to the kids if there was one in there. You're like, that they're gonna move some more stuff back in there and chairs and whatnot.
Oh, a lot of the toys and everything are going to go back in there.
So I mean, that would be more inviting to the kids. It's like dark. I mean, not. Really
pretty
dark.
light in there.
I was just gonna say, there's no lights in there now, right?
Nope.
Well,
And it's 7:00 at night.
Yeah.
It's pretty bright. Yeah.
You're gonna be able to do events in there and stuff with the new layout things, like where you need something at night, like in the winter time, it'd be light in the.
Oh yeah, but
Here at night.
but we're not doing anything at night in there during the next until August. I mean,
Is it
so
something you could plug a lamp into the electrical if you really needed to kind of?
So I guess the
For $10,
Yeah, I mean, like,
$550 versus
question
$10.
is $550 for 2 months. I guess that's the question.
yeah.
I'd say skip it too,
No.
because it is pretty light in there.
I've already.
And we can definitely bring in.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll
I've got
yeah.
12.
I think there might be an argument.
Yeah.
A little antique, maybe.
Well, they would love it. They would love it.
Glow stick.
glow sticks. There we go. The first coat of paint is on, the ceiling is being installed. It will continue being installed tomorrow. The thing that I can, if anyone wants to, I can show you all of the things that we've made decisions on. So the color of the actual shelf is going to be painted white. The shelving is going to be this color here because it's, I figured we kind of match with what's already been made, like custom made for the library. So we're going to be doing stuff like this. We're going to have these kinds of things where, you know, there'll be cubbies that you can put your stuff in, put the tubs away, and it'll be nice space for all of that stuff to go. This is the couch. And the couch is going to be in this fabric. So that was kind of cute. That's the only thing we figured out in terms of the carpet or the fabrics. Oh no, wait, this is going to go on the bench where the toddler area goes. Well, it's kind of giraffe-y feel, so it's going to, ooh, I like that. The cabinets or the bench bases will be this blue color, so we'll have blue in the thing. It'll be very nice. The thing that we're having a hard time figuring out right now is the benches underneath the windows, because I cannot find anything that I like. I found something that was really great, but it's not something that we can use for the kids' room because it's fabric, and there's no way we could be using fabric in that space. So I just got these two samples in, so I'm kind of like trying to, Jody and I are going to go look at this. I was thinking, do we do a sample, just a separate color? Do we do that as well? Do we do maybe this all the way around? I was hoping that. Yeah, in the middle. You really feel it. Yes, but this matches the trim of the room. So, yeah. And I'm not crazy about any of them. I'm not like, oh, this is perfect. This one I like for the couch. I think that one looks great. We found other things that were, oh, there's some green and some really cool. And then you look at it and it's like, oh, this is kind of pukey looking, or this is going to give off a nice 70s vibe, or, you know.
Kind of ties into the other one.
Yeah.
And it's just like bright and sunny at the windows.
Yeah.
It would go with the trim on the windows too,
Yeah.
whereas some of the blues might clash.
Yep. I like that. I mean, that's the one thing we have to get started on is figuring that out. So yeah, I thought solid color, but it might be nice to have a pattern, but again, solid color is not a bad thing either when it comes to trying to match it all up.
Yeah.
So anyone want to vote and tell me which one you like the best? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, correct. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, if after the meeting anyone wants to go in there and take a look, that would be great. Oh, tables and chairs. We're also doing this chairs, and we're gonna do. Shoot. It's adorable. So the legs of the chairs and the table will all be the natural color. And then we're still trying to kind of come up with, there's going to be 4 chairs, and we were thinking about doing the orange and the green because it will offset or kind of match the ceiling. So the orange and the yellow. So that's where we're at. Unless anyone has another idea if you like that combination better. Which one? The blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yep.
The only brand color I don't see in all this is navy.
We have the navy, and the carpet is a pretty dark blue. So, oh, and these are going to be a darker blue, so that'll also be in there.
Hey, good night.
Exactly. So, okay, well, we can talk about all of that after the meeting if anyone wants to, and we can do all that.
So, September 28th, for the dogs.
Yeah, probably. She's gonna put a ref on it, but she doesn't expect that it's gonna go much further. I mean, who knows with what's happening economy wise. So we'll see. So the other, I think that's pretty much everything right now. So the floors, oh no, sorry. The other thing that I'm not thrilled about right now is that they put a trap door pretty much right where the furnace was, because that's where the old trap door was to get down into the crawl space. And it's a big metal contraption that's in the floor. And apparently they said, well, we can try and, cover most of it up. So there's just like a thin rim going around. I don't like that at all. I think that that's just going to be an eyesore. So I've talked with Jeremy from MR2, and I talked to Megan to see if we can't put it in the closet. I don't see why we couldn't put the trapdoor in the closet, because it's just a hole in the floor. It's really, and the crawl space, there's nothing to it. It's actually, I don't even know how anyone's going to get down in there, because there's a beam in the middle of the trapdoor. So it would probably be something you could just stick your head down in and take a look at, but you're not crawling. I'm sure that there could be someone who could crawl down there, but I'm not. They did it, but according to Eden, who is the contractor who's been working here doing all the work, he said it's no problem to take it out. He even saved the plywood that the hole is in, so he just put that back.
So they climb into the building.
Not that I know of.
My new cottage I have, but absolutely have to put a hole in, see what you get up to the attic. Absolutely.
But they're still gonna put up some.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah, just would like to. I just wanted to move it to the
I understand.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's anything in terms of building code.
Going to space. That's it for the show.
Yeah. So it's been, I mean, they've been really great to work with. So I'm hoping we'll be able to work on all of that stuff together.
Yeah, just for specifically trying to make the space more usable and flexible.
It's
Right,
kind
and then
of
to have a
right in the
metal-
middle too, like
Uh-huh.
it's not like it's in a corner
Yeah.
at all.
It is. So that's why we're just gonna talk to them and make sure we're good for moving it. Hopefully it'll be an easy, no problem thing to do. Jeremy didn't think it was gonna be a problem, but
And I guess it's just one of those things that's kind of overlooked in the plan of the project, because they must have made an assumption that we'll put it here, it's where it was, we'll put
Yeah.
it back, and we don't think about it or whatever. But I think that even if I hope that they will just fix it, but even if it requires change order, I mean, there's no point in going to all this work and then having trapped in the middle of the floor. It makes it less usable, I think
Exactly.
we need to make the change.
that's what I thought too. I'm like, this is not, even if there's a small.
I didn't realize that. Like, why would you put this in the
I
middle?
think
of the
that
room?
they think because they have used them before, and because you can put the carpet so that it goes right, up to the edge. So there's just a tiny little silver lip that goes around. But to me, that's just one more thing that kids are going to be like, ooh, what's this? Or picking at it, or if there's a kid who's walking who has problems, and
Trip over
you
it.
could trip over it. We're trying to make this as accessible as possible. So hopefully we're going to work on that one, get that going. So I think that's pretty much everything for the kids' room. Ceiling's going in. I don't know when the carpet's going to go in. That should be soon though. Mike's the lighting, the heat pump. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. So to go backwards, 414 meeting. So the VA meeting on this June 6th. So not Upper Hudson, but Triple I, who is the company we get all of our, who we get Sierra from, and all of the different apps that we use to patron interfaces and all that other stuff. They're changing Encore to their new Vega Discovery, which is going to be a huge change for everybody. And it's gonna require marketing, it's gonna require education, because it's a big change in terms of like how people see everything online and how their account works. And so just so everyone's aware, if we might get some complaints at some point when they finally do switch it over. I think they're switching it sometime August or September, but I'm not sure if that's completely correct. But it's gonna be a bunch of irritating, like we have to teach everybody. But I have looked at the patron interface, and it actually is kind of nice. It's more usable than Encore, so I'm hoping it won't be too terrible, and people will be able to see things much easier. There will be a new app, which is the only thing that stinks too, because everyone's going to have to download the new app instead of using the one from Kapira. So if anyone uses the UHLS app, they're going to have to get rid of that one and then get the new one. All of the changes is just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Another thing that was talked about was the SHIELD Act and cybersecurity insurance. I didn't do much research on this yet, so because I don't know how much the SHIELD Act relates to association libraries. I'm not sure that it even does. So
What is it?
it's to make sure that you have you're basically as safe as you possibly can get with all of your computers, so that all of your data is secure. I'm not quite sure where it all leads to, so I have to look at it. But
Do we have any data that isn't either Upper Hudson controlled, or like our donor data is in a cloud? We've done things like that. Is there anything that we actually have?
just stuff that's on my computer or that's in our Google spreadsheets, and that's about it. We were hacked a long time ago, and it was a ransomware attack, and luckily we didn't lose anything, and we were able to get all of our stuff back, but that was because we had a second server. But again, we don't have a whole lot of stuff that needs to be protected. So
Credit card
no,
information, don't need anything, right? It's all either people's names, addresses, all that. That's Upper Hudson system.
exactly. So
Databases.
yeah, I just have to look into whether or not if the SHIELD Act actually applies to us. Because if it does, then we might have to change things and do things. Yes. Yeah, he was going to do some programs for us, but I haven't seen him in a while. So I'm just putting that out there because it's in the mother right now. The other thing to talk about is Hoopla, which is a very popular app. However, so Hoopla runs it's a immediate access app. So if you're looking for the latest Harry Potter book, and it has been 14 weeks for you're on hold through Libby, you can download that book immediately through Hoopla. We pay for that. So everything that people download, whether it's movies, music, comic books, audiobooks, all of that stuff, we pay per item. So we're paying no more than $2.99 an item, because I have it as a cap, and people can only take out 5 items a month. As soon as your month is over, like Braylon is very happy when it's over, because then he can go and take out more stuff. So it's a great opportunity for people who can't get the stuff. But in terms of a business model, it stinks because it's charging everybody a lot of money, but then you have all of these holds that are on Libby, and you're not trying to make sure that everyone's getting what they want. So I did a little comparison just to look and see how much we have been spending on Hoopla. And we're already halfway to what we spent last year. So Upper Hudson's kind of going through we're trying to figure out how many people would want to drop it, how many people would want to slowly phase it out.
Are these unique users?
Yes. Yep. So we have 110 unique users.
Yeah. They can each do 5 per month.
5 per month.
Steady,
So
pretty good, steady increase in the number of users.
it has been. Yeah, that's the other reason why I'm hesitant to say, let's stop this. But this could also become part of the 414 messaging, is that we need to be able to spend more money and give people the services that they want. I looked at our budget and I think we're either almost or have met our budget for e-content already because of this. So Mhm. Yep.
Can be changed for, limit of.
we could change the limit. I could make it so that you can only do three items per month. We can also change the price point. We can bring it down to $1.99 if we wanted to. So there's ways around it, but
I used it on my series,
mhm,
so 5 things a month. It took like 3 months to watch like 12 shows.
exactly.
So I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I'm not taking out. I'm waiting like 4 months on Libby for stuff, and then it all comes at the same time.
Yes.
I get 4 books all at once every time, and you can't.
And they exactly. The yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't know. Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, we don't tell, we don't go and say, oh, if you're borrowing this book, it costs the library $50 to have it on overdrive. We just say it's available and we're paying for it. So I do let people know when I tell them about Hoopla that, yep, we pay per item. So, that's why the 5 items are max. And so I'm hesitant to say we should get rid of it, even though everybody there's a lot of libraries who are like, we want to get rid of this thing, but then everybody's saying the same thing I am. Well, our patrons like it. So yes.
Maybe the same 20 people, but it's still.
Well, these are unique users. So we have 110 people. Yeah. That's a lot.
There's a lot.
So to get rid of it would be.
Do you think cutting it down might be an option, like you said? Because getting rid of it, it's too popular for these people?
I'm hesitant just because, if 5 already is not, and if people are using it for watching movies or like series, like TV series or yeah, that's the other problem is there's only so many places that you can get some things. Exactly. So it's just one
The
more.
people who are in Upper Hudson who want to get rid of it is and another service and
They've been looking at something called Cloud Library, but that was not going to work.
Something totally problem, but I don't know if you can get adult content on it, which is, I think it's Sora.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's Libby. That's
Okay.
that's an offshoot of
Okay.
Libby for kids.
Fair enough, because I was like, it's free, so
Yeah.
as opposed to having to pay for it.
So I can tell you in the month of May, we had 58 audiobooks checked out, 6 comic books, 13 ebooks, 3 movies, and keep going. And that's it. So we had 80 checkouts of items, and that cost us the $196.86. So, I mean, people are definitely using it. And if your audiobook circs are the biggest at this point, which I'm not surprised by, but movies and TV and music.
Is it something we promote at all, or?
I don't promote it. No, not usually. Yeah, it's just one of those.
The Hoopla website, it says.
Mhm.
The library.
It is on our website. I mean, that's part of.
What's your innovative? Hey, you're gonna get 5 more. You're gonna get 5 more things.
No, I haven't gotten any of those emails. I think we could change the website.
Yeah, there's certain stuff like at the end of like the last week of the month, they're like, oh, we're gonna give you some extra stuff, but it's these 4 things. And you have to sit on a giraffe couch. That-
Front of my giraffe couch. Yeah. 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 And to put that into another thing, they're going to be asking, the e-content committee is asking the DA to increase our contributions to ebooks by 7% next year. So that's going to be another increase in our budget for e-content. Yes, I put that in, but I also put money in to offset the hoopla stuff. Yeah, I think I doubled it maybe. So
That,
I don't want to cut anything until.
yeah, but if we have a vote that's part of the discussion, it's enough.
just keep going.
Yeah.
We need to, we're proving our value and this is value that we're providing the community, so.
And a lot of people are on that E generation now, like everybody's kind of moving, the pace of everything is increasing, AI is
God,
pushing, and I think that, like, we're even doing that, I want to say they were even working on that at the school library level.
Mhm.
They're moving into like digitizing more and that sort of thing, because that's where the world is moving.
Oh, that's for sure. And that actually kind of brings up another thing that for our libraries, it'll be something we need to do, is that the Berlin School District is getting rid of their elementary school librarian. So they're not going to have a librarian there anymore. So, yeah.
How is that even possible?
Is it a budget? I mean.
Budget. I think
the library.
they'll still be a library, but there just won't be a librarian in there to teach them about it or do anything with them. So Rebecca and I are talking with the school to see how we can help fill that gap. So we'll see how that goes, but she'll be meeting with them soon. Yeah, no, we don't do guillotine or anything like that around here.
Get in here.
So I'm good with saying that we want to continue with Hoopla and keep going with it until.
I agree.
Sounds good to me. I know I gave you this. This is our minimum. It's kind of a pain in the butt to find out, to look through, but just so you all are aware, this is what the amount of money that we're spending on audio, on e-content, so audiobooks, and this is through Libby. This has nothing to do with Hoopla. So you can see we're under step, pretty far down on the bottom, and it's all done based on consortium. They break it up based on percentage of how many people we serve. So we don't pay anywhere near as much as like Colony or Albany. So that $1,359.31, that's our minimum contribution. That's what we have to give to Upper Hudson for audiobooks. Not audio, but e-content. So that's what's going to go up. And right now we're at our 50%. So having spent on new ordering, I have Upper Hudson do all of that stuff because it's a service they provide and it's one less thing on my plate. And they're good at doing all of that. So we could tell them, hey, we want to bring our contribution up to 2,000, spend an extra $700. But we did that during the pandemic, but not after that. It was, let's just keep it. So it's just so you can see the numbers for yourselves where it is. And like Castleton, they've spent over 180% of their minimum contribution number. So yeah, and then this also shows that our current hold time is 34 weeks. So for the newer stuff, obviously there's other stuff that they can get to, but so I just wanted you guys to have that so that you can see what it really means when we're talking about e-content, how much it would spend. And unfortunately, the way they do it, the costs are ridiculously expensive. One audiobook could cost $50. And the way you do it is there's two different methods. You can have it so that you buy the book for a certain number of months, Or you do it one copy per user. And then sometimes they'll even put a restriction on that and say, if you get up to, I'm just going to throw it, like 20 users, or it's been circulated 20 times, you no longer own the book, you have to buy it again. So it's a racket. It's a true racket that they have on that. It's not like, oh, I'm going to buy an audiobook for $30 and it'll just be in this collection forever. No, not always. Some of them are, but and that's the ones you try to get, but the most popular ones are not. Yeah. So, okay, so that was a lot for that one. Sorry. Okay, so I'll keep that stuff going. Scholarship was awarded to Alexandra Pierce. Thanks to everybody for voting. She's a sweet kid, and she's going to be going on to University of Rhode Island to study nursing. So she's been very appreciative, very happy. So it was nice. Library calendar, which is a new calendar that we have on the website, which is wonderful. As soon as I figure out all of the little glitches that are on there, but it has helped me tremendously. And it's easier. A lot of people have already told me that they love it because you can see so many different things on the calendar. This calendar links up to 19 other libraries within the Upper Hudson system. So you can search by library, you can search by, I just want to see the children's programs, I only want to see the adult programs. It's been great. And then registration has been really good. Every time I get it, I don't have to, normally I would do a registration, I would put the thing on my calendar and then I would make a separate registration sheet and then you have to link that to the calendar. This is just all right there. So I'm going to say already worth the $200 a year. Like very, very worth it. So that's up and running, and so far I haven't heard anything, and people have been registering like crazy for programs. I already have like 30 people registered for the VA aquarium, which is going to be interesting. Maybe it'll be nice out. We can do it outside. The other big thing that's going to be happening over the summer is the summer food grab and go. I already have 3 families signed up for summer food. Oh wait, I think I might have 4. I think I got another registration just a couple days ago. So this is going to be, I'm going to be doing training on the 26th. I've advertised it at the Berlin School. I've also given it to the food pantry to let their families know about it. The kids are going to be getting breakfast and lunch for 7 days a week. And they'll do 2 pickups. Parents can pick up food on Mondays and Thursdays, say between 4 and 6. But if we have the food here and it's 9 o'clock in the morning and someone's here, I'm not going to turn them away and say, oh, you have to come back at 4. I probably shouldn't say that, but that's how it will work. If anyone wants to volunteer to help, if it gets to be big, where it's a lot for one person to just be handing out food, if we have like 20 or 30 families, I might need extra help. I did talk to Four Fat Fowl. We're allowed to use their refrigerators for extra stuff. The one
It's like 3 or 4 days worth of breakfast.
Yeah. It's a good size amount of, yeah. So they'll get, on Mondays, they get Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then Thursday, they get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And most meals come with, I'm pretty sure it's 2, they'll have like 2 milks and a juice and then the actual food, but it's all separated. So we don't have to do any of the work in terms of separation. We can just, just pick out the bag and give it to them. But if there's a lot of kids and a lot of families coming, then I might need some extra help. I am going to be going away on July 8th to we're coming home on the 14th or the 15th. So I would need someone to help out with the Thursday and the Monday food delivery for those 2 weeks or for those 2 days. So if anyone is interested and wants to see how it all works, let me know. Anita Henry did say she would give a hand as well from the food pantry. I don't know if anyone else from the food pantry would want to help, but
I can probably.
that'd be great.
That week I'm here, be away over that.
Okay, that would be great then.
Between 4 and 6.
Yeah,
Mondays and Thursdays.
Mondays and Thursdays. So you'll be here. We can always just like say, come on, guys.
You'll be here Thursday now. You're here Thursday now.
Yeah. Depending on, I can give you Mondays.
Right, but Mahjong is Thursday, so.
Yeah, Mahjong, we'll be here anyway, so Kim
Yeah.
says, hey gang, I need help with this, I'm sure that, you know, we could break up the day.
Commandeer everybody.
Use the-
Well, I appreciate that.
Oh,
So
no, I mean, you know,
you're all good people.
eager to.
So I pretty
What
sure.
kind of feedback did you get from the families that signed up? Were they really?
Oh, I haven't heard, no one's told, I haven't heard anything. No, they just signed up. But I do know a few of them, one or two. So, and I know that they'll probably be very grateful that we'll have it. So, I'm hoping we can feed as many kids as possible because that's just, it's going to be tough. They don't have school this year.
Stephentown residents or is that
Nope.
like local?
Anybody, and there's no residency requirements and there's no, the age is 18 and under. So we don't have to ask anything except for their names and whether they're going to be coming and how many kids there are.
How is this funded? Like,
Rensselaer County through New York State. So it's with Hunger Solutions New York. So I work with Rensselaer County Youth Services. I don't know what their official title is, but Debbie Fleming from there is the one who does all of this stuff. So she's my contact.
do you
So
think there might be, because I know there's some kids that live in Stephentown, go to April Park.
yeah, I mean, I'm happy to send things out. It's just because it's such a small population of people, but I don't know what the school's policies are on sending things out in like the smaller, like the elementary schools and things.
I
But
can find out.
if you could, that'd be great.
If you send flyer
Mhm.
to the office in Miller Hill, they will send it out saying, I just got one the other day, basically like a community email. Like this isn't school
Oh, so
supported,
the-
but this is a community.
Oh, yeah,
You
I've
know,
gotten
and they'll
those
send
too.
out a community flyer and specifically say like this isn't affiliated with. They do it a lot for the sports teams or
Mhm.
see community events. And you get an email that looks like that, and then you
Yep.
open the flyer, you can see.
I mean, I'd
Okay.
say for the elementary schools and even.
You could try that in too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
lot of need there, too.
that was the other one I was gonna send it out to, so I'll
And
do
they're
that as well.
Close enough that they would, you know, maybe travel a lot for us.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You have a flyer.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They're like an electronic version?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you send it, I can.
Yep, I definitely do.
Have flyers up at the wall. At the post office and around.
Yeah,
You know, what might be a
absolutely.
good spot too is the community center in Lebanon.
Mhm.
That might be a good spot.
And they have a website now. I know.
That's true.
A Facebook
Mhm.
channels.
Oh, the food
Yeah.
closet, you know what? Can I just send the PDF to everybody? and
Yeah. And then we can.
Distribute as you see.
You don't want to get overwhelmed.
No, but I think we
for-
want to take
this is
people
for
to
kids,
the-
though.
Understand, but
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot
I
of
don't
kids
think-
around here.
I don't think we'll get too overwhelmed. I really
Okay,
don't.
just, you know, sounds like wonderful.
I was told by Debbie to let everybody know. I said, do we have to worry about, numbers? And she's like, no, let as many people as you know as can and put it out there to everyone. So,
And sometimes if they don't get enough usage of it, the program gets.
Oh, yeah. no,
Take it away.
So,
have to have
Yeah,
fun.
you know, like, when I was in Connecticut, we did that and opened it up, and the amount of families that came through was enough to keep it going.
yeah.
But there was a risk at one point, and then they started advertising so that more, so that it would just end.
Yeah. Well, this is a completely new thing that they're doing, that they're allowing us to do. The grab and go, it's normally you have to sit and eat at the place you're getting the food. But this is,
You know, we used to do it at, I didn't hear anything about it this year, but we used to do it at the middle school. It sounds like the exact same thing, but I haven't heard anything about it. But if you obviously are going to send it to us.
I'll send the PDF to everybody. That's pretty much it. I went to the town board meeting on Monday and I was out sick for a couple of days. If you didn't see me, that's why. But all is well now and I have tried so hard. At least it wasn't like some emergency. It was just a cold.
Well,
All right, I think that's it.
Move on to,
Account balances and you. Kim was nice enough to provide the landscape thing that I printed. That is year to date versus budget, and then against the proposed budget. Say, I was just able to get to the year to date. I like the landscape on that gives you an idea of where we're at, vis-a-vis what we're budgeted.
quick question here,
I'll try.
special project savings, so the special project for 31,000.
Yes.
So
$31,260.35.
we've spent some of that though, haven't we?
This is the balance that was in this. I don't know, nothing has been transferred out of that account into the checking account. The transfers have come from the savings account.
Let me look really quick. I can tell you what. The money we spent on the children's room so far needed to come out of there, right, Kim?
It did. That's the thing that we're trying to figure out too, is, Cecilia and I are trying to make sure that we know how to do the accounting with it. So that everything is, and I did some research and I'm pretty sure I know what we have to do, but I just want to run it by the accountants and make sure that it's all good. But let me just look up really quick.
I can transfer out of that account into the money market savings account. You know, any of this stuff can be transferred into checking, like nothing. Wouldn't take any.
I think we just need to check that and make sure that we are transferring it out of the right account. And because again, we just want to have this reflect. We don't want to look like we've got extra money that we don't actually have. It hanging around.
Celia and Kim, let me know. I'll transfer it, whatever section you want to go wherever. Pretty easy to do. For example, the scholarship account, we, took 2,000 out of that and put it into the money market. That was pretty fast.
We can fix it afterwards.
Okay, let me just take a look really quick and see it. We did transfer, and that was going into the account.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we haven't taken anything out of that one. So we'll just have to change the code on it in QuickBooks and then move the money once we do
If
that.
you want, just let me know when I'll be.
Okay. We can figure that out without. Because actually, I know how much we need to. Construction project. So out of our own money, so far we have spent about $8,000. I'm not, oh, actually here. Our total, we've spent $7,747.50 for the architect fees. So that money can be transferred from the special project into the other one. And then out of the DLD grant, we've paid for the heat pumps and the electric.
Yeah.
So I just we'll have to transfer the money to make it official. Transfer.
So how much so far have we spent on the renovation ballpark? Like 13,000 to the heat pumps, I know that.
Some so far is $25,954.50. No, according to the thing, they were going to just bill us monthly. They're a huge company, so I think that that's probably part of it. But yeah, so far we've just done architect fees and then the heat pumps and then the electric. So I'll look at all that.
I haven't gotten over to shut down the zero account. Still have an account for a zero account.
Well, we're on this. Do we want to just quickly look at the financials, talk about the budget? The 26. So I think we probably need to factor in, increases in wages as well, so, minimum wage is going up 50 cents again this year, so we would need to. We've been trying to keep the, staff wages 50 cents above minimum wage. As I said, I'm not sure what that is percentage wise. But I think we should account for, you know.
Yeah, the
Some is used.
Okay.
You kept it the same.
I kept it the same, yeah, I didn't know.
Makes perfect sense.
I
I mean,
kept,
we're not discussing to approve the 26 budget right now.
no.
I just want to reflect it. Same.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, I mean, because part of the pitch is things are getting expensive and we'll incrementally expensive, so your 26 proposed budget should reflect. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty, but wages will go up, other things will go up, so there should be a higher number for many of these categories.
Just tell me what you want for the number. I did increase a couple of
Yeah,
things.
So like, for example, like the Hudson.
Yeah.
Or you already built that.
I built that. What do you want to do for do you want me to just, I mean, I can, for the wages, just add in a
Just
couple.
put 90,000. I mean, you know, if the average you're talking about 50 cents an hour. I don't know. I mean,
What percentage is that?
Yeah, somebody knows how to do that.
If you putting aside what we do, state probably 8% increase. So I mean, it's sort of like it's not that that's.
So if you're doing a 3% increase on 84, you're right at, you know, scaring the heck out of 3,500 or 4,000. You know, 88,000 maybe more on your list.
But I'm just saying that.
No, I understand what you're saying.
So,
It's a proposed budget. I mean, one of the one things about it, but the proposed budget
so what is, we were looking at 3% of
Most companies.
Of this?
Yeah, so
But yeah, it's a standard.
So it would be- it's $2,500 is 3% of 84. I have it bookmarked on my how to find easy percentage calculator. And honestly, I would, if we're gonna be going and saying, this is what we would really need, I would love to be able to say we can pay people more for program, like staff programming. I mean, we have it in the budget for the 6,200. But again, it would probably be another thing, but so bringing it up to 90 probably would not be such a bad number, at least for the budget,
The program.
so that we can include payroll, you know.
But shouldn't we have that off, like a different group discuss this? I mean, it's not that large.
Well,
This group's a little bit
This is
different to
just-
discuss
the
it.
only reason I suggest this.
Well,
Right.
okay, but you know, I mean,
Whatever you want to do.
I mean, I would rather do that off, you know, Tim and I, and you, if you want to do it quick, because, you know, you got a lot of time to spend on the 414 today. But it takes a lot of time to go through this.
Whatever you consider.
I would put that.
I was gonna say, we're sort of done. We're ready to submit. If we want to propose budget.
They want to propose budget
But-
with your
but
submission.
we don't.
I'm sorry,
No, I'm making a face, not at your question.
I understand.
The face was directed at Stephanie.
Well, let's get her right here.
It's just, it'll be, so, it's. We have several.
Okay.
So, do it.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to box this in.
Well.
Oh, it says very clearly it's a preliminary.
Budget. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the objective here is to think what the numbers are. Think about, you know, what the increases are gonna be. It strikes me as, like, for example, the wages. Probably you wanna think about a fundraising number. And I would think the budget would like, I would think that certainly be a good thing to show, at least targeting a little bit more money in fundraising, which goes into the, No, those are the,
Yeah.
sort of like, you're just looking for the moving parts. I mean, we underfunded some of our accounts, are we gonna look to?
Oh, you mean as far as the $6,000 going across, like?
Yeah, we're gonna.
You know what? I don't think I added that into
No,
the
I-
We're
budget.
not allowed.
Right.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you can just put it there. Like, you have.
Oh,
so you
oh,
can
okay, fine.
allocate it, But
So
But
just,
I do
Live
think
in
that
there.
we do need to, increase facility repairs to within the room. Because we've filmed a bunch of stuff, we'll make it to some of it this year, but that's the thing, that's the thing,
the roof's gonna need work and the painting's gonna need work.
parking lot needs lines, and we've got a bunch
So,
of stuff that's
so,
gonna come.
fair enough, it's like, look, the budget people take a
So-
little time.
Yeah,
Do the numbers.
You give us a week, I think, Tim and I.
Yeah, that's
make
fine.
sure we run through. They are right.
I mean,
That would be ideal.
You're asking for a lot. You're asking for a lot, Richard. I don't know. No, we can definitely be.
Yeah.
Let me know. Okay. I did keep the annual appeal budget the same, and I kept the fundraising budget the same to show that we're still gonna fundraise and do all that stuff, so.
Would you and I go from
Yeah.
now or out to the?
Happy
Is
to
this
do it.
format okay, do you think?
I love it.
I mean, you think the landscape format would be okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the giver's gonna be fine. I mean, sort of-
Well, all right,
Yeah.
you've been man dropping to it. so.
No, she just sends me email.
Okay.
Send me email saying like, well, you haven't done this in the last 7 years. Okay, thanks. I said, I didn't realize there was an issue earlier.
That would have been nice.
Well, I mean, I think
Find
the
it.
budget document is, we should be careful with this.
Yeah.
I wasn't suggesting that you wouldn't be, but I think it's useful talking.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like, it's like, these are what the numbers are, and they're not that different from what's going on, so, if it looks sensible, it's a good thing. And I think it's a useful talking tool off of which you talk. These are what the numbers are. And doing it right, sort of, not right or wrong, but getting sort of a reasonable proposal that reflects our realities.
His expenses are $26 or $5,000 more is what Kim put in there. So. Maybe even more than
We
that.
can-
We'll get together off the range.
Okay.
Think what's, so it's 414, so now on that.
Yeah, and I will, I think it's 414. I mean, basically, we've got our petitions. I'll check against the registered voters, but I think we're fine. They recommended getting 10 more than the minimum, which is 25. He's 35. We have. So that number is good. We. If you shoot me over the 24 and 25 actual budget, that was on the website.
Oh, it should have been on the website.
I'll pull the others, so I'll have that.
Approved budgets.
Unless I missed it, but I.
Yeah, I've got the approved.
23 was the last.
I have 2015 to 2020. So if you go to the About Us and then go to Board of Trustees, you'll see the approved budgets are in that drop-down menu.
Where was it?
Go to About Us, Board of Trustees, and then in the Board of Trustees drop-down menu, it's approved budgets at the bottom. But if you can't get it for whatever reason, I'll send it to you.
Pulled down. I just saw all of the historic ones, and I didn't see the.
Yeah, I've got 24, 23, and then, yeah. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, there are.
I'll figure that out. Just so that I.
Okay. If you can't, just let me know.
We're good. All good.
All right, good.
So in terms of getting the paperwork done, we're there. I like what you did in connection with the sort of the blurb. I guess that's been circulated.
But we should-
Just to the committee.
Yeah, so everybody else has it.
Yeah. Now it's been circulated. And we need to finish up the sort of the bullet points. It just sort of needs to be done in a short one.
Scott Van Hennick, you want to just quickly, just do any of with the telephone in terms of the approach with the messaging.
Yeah, I think transparency is really important. So I think we talked about the meeting that it would be nice if the first time people heard about it, it was from us, so that there was no chance of misinformation or people misrepresenting it in some way or taking control of the narrative. So the idea was for a membership organization that has a lot of messaging advantages, we send this message out as a board of directors and say, here's what's going on. It's as transparent and forthright and advocacy filled as possible without being advocacy filled. And
Just fact.
we use words like, volunteer board of directors and part-time staff and things like that to push what we can. And so we went through, I sent it to for their ideas, so we came through a couple of different drafts, and this is what we ended up with. I think the thing that I wanted to stress to everybody was that I think that the lead, like just been the same for like that's the first thing we want people to think about. That's the lead there. Anything else after that, I was sort of just giving them the I think through pandemic, it's whatever, like our costs have gone up. Everybody understands that costs have gone up. Everybody's electric bill is 90 times what it used to be, all that kind of stuff. So I think people would we don't have to, and then when they find out it's $15,000 and it's going to cost them less than $10,000 a year, most people in town, like I think we don't need to push too hard with any of that stuff. So it's just providing information without providing too much information, trying to write it in such a way that they actually read down to the end.
It's not more than one page.
Yeah. So, writing for email, we want everything to be cut short, like one sentence paragraphs and stuff like that. I would love a world where we could send the one that you sent me. Unfortunately, I don't think we do.
Pages.
Well, the temptation is always to kind of deliver information. If the information's going to get through, and you just kind of like put the stuff in there, makes the points long. So once we had that, I came up with talking points for the board for us to talk about, which could just be something that last time we just handed them out. We don't even, I think we said at the meeting, some of the best things we could say is, here's our talking points, as opposed to trying to rephrase anything or, like come up with a new way to say into stuff. So basically it's just restatement of what's in here, said in a different way. If there's any, ideas people have, or you want to, make little tweaks or whatever, this is kind of what we came up with as the major things. So I added a little bit to the math to make it, I think they gave us like an assessment of 135,000 or something like that, which seemed like a weird number. So I did the math, and up to 200,000, it's under $10 assessment. So I don't know how many people in town have a house that's assessed at more 200,000, but
That was
Those
my
people
question when I
would
saw
more
that
than-
email, it's like $150,000.
and
I don't believe.
yeah, and the assessments have not changed in a time. I'm thinking in Stephentown. 'cause
I don't think they're going to be though.
They have been doing it, they're doing it, it's 100% doing it again.
Worry about
It was a point of pride that they hadn't changed in like 20 years or
Not
something.
anymore.
Last time we did.
No, yeah, no.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is, I sent it to the committee, and then you guys can look this over, and we have a little bit of time, but I think once we know that all our paperwork is in order, it's actually I think we should tell people as soon as we can.
Yeah, I mean, the town side is mixed here. They
Yeah.
just had to.
As long as we know there's gonna be a proposition on the back of the ballot, we can start telling people about it. It's gonna be.
And so in terms of who we can send this to, we don't have emails for all of our cardholders.
No.
Nor all of our donors. So, it's not gonna be a complete list.
No, we
No, but we
put a
can-
list of people that read stuff. You can put. Sorry.
We can send it out to everybody we have emails for.
Everybody in
Private
town
email.
will know 4 minutes after you send this email to somebody. Word just gets to everybody. So,
I'll be interested to see when it shows up on Facebook.
yeah, you could put it on the.
I think I
I
just,
just think you start with the people who are already using the library and supporting it. You know, you sort of get those people on board. And do the thing.
so we're gonna send. To
What is the new Lebanon amended budget package?
Pat, yeah. Our newsletter.
That
That was scary.
was tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, four teachers still lost their jobs. So.
Do you,
Yeah,
Oh, I know.
literally, they were.
Do you wanna
they
do
were
the donor
literally
list and
thinking
I'll
about
do-
something.
the email for the card holders and then the newsletter list?
We should probably try to. So.
Could be a problem. We can try.
In my first draft, I did not make the threat that we would be cutting anything if it didn't go through, but other people suggested that it go in there, so it is in there. Further down, just to be, you know,
My
be
own,
totally transparent with you about it, but
after we're talking about the booth list, I wonder if just saying like services, interlibrary services is specific enough in terms of like, people will think of, oh yeah, the iStream on Hoopla, or like, I don't know if there's a way to be a little bit more specific, like the movies you like to watch.
It could limit our e-book access, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
You could just kind of say that.
Not to make it like a lot longer, but just to have.
Sure, yeah.
sometimes it's nice to give a little less information so that it generates feedback and people have questions. If you try and answer every question when you sell stuff out, then nobody has anything that they need to like interact with you about. So if you want to interact, but interlibrary services just was easier than saying like getting into Upper Hudson and stuff like that. That felt like it had more questions.
Well, the one they could ask is, what do you mean? And I say, okay, fine. Books, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we were trying to make the point that it's a fundamental cost, like
Yeah.
this is something we can't get away without.
Yeah.
We have to pay this and it's gone up, and we have to add to the collection, it's gone up, we pay our staff, it's gone up. Can't, it's not a discretionary expense.
I think also if we are gonna plan to have some informational infographic kind of things as a follow-up rounds, we didn't do a annual the thing that Deborah had us do last year, the mailing with the infographic.
Oh, right.
Kind of thing, but if we wanna do something like that, we could go more specific to be able to show that increase in Hoopla, different things like that, those different increases that we've seen, you know, really focus on the fact that everything is not just the cost, but the.
Well, 2018 didn't even have Hoopla.
Right, no, I mean,
Sure.
but we can tailor it to like, you know,
Yeah.
each thing, and like, if you see it in the
Yeah.
past 3 years, usually it's gone up, you know, this much. Costs for some of these things, we can talk about some of the specifics that we want to feature, for the follow-up that is not advocacy, but that is information.
Right. We can do that.
We say, you know, there's more things coming, and this is just the starting point, so yeah, especially based on feedback or anything else you think of, I think, yeah. The advantage of doing it now is you have that time to use and you can get more specific about stuff.
People will be clamoring.
Right,
Yeah.
especially at the 15,000 number, you know, we actually talked about like, is it so small that would it be better to not make a big thing of it, because it's such a small change, and people are gonna kind of be surprised that it's so little. You know, how do we use that messaging wise? Do we kind of like just go, there's happening and not say that, like, or do we go into details, you know?
Are we going to address the idea that we're going to be doing it more frequently, so it will be much smaller amounts, but more frequent?
We chose not to do that at the time. I think my thought was that if somebody didn't like that, like there are some people that say, I don't use the library, I don't like my tax dollars going to the library, that they would try and nip this in the bud now. So if they kill it now, then you can't do it every year.
Got it.
Whereas if it goes well now, people get a sense like, okay, you know, costs are going up.
Mhm.
I guess I wouldn't tip my money,
Mhm.
knowing what happened last
I mean,
time.
I would push it as it's a respectful amount. Like we're trying to respect where our community members are, but we have these extra costs that we have to ask for a small incremental increase. You know, that explains that smaller number in a nice pushy way.
Yeah. I'd make it more of a point in the talking points that I did in the original message that, a lot of the stuff was done to hold out as long as it could, you know. That's for money. We did this on purpose, like we waited as long as it could to do it. Exhausted all other possibilities before we did that. We don't make it quite as quick because we don't have quite the really. Again, starting point, you know, we can this is just kind of what's available at the outset.
I think this is a good start. I think it's sending it out, getting it out there, getting the word out there, and then we follow up each month with a new, you know, here's some more information that you might need or.
More digestible little.
Do you want to put a specific, in terms of feedback, like to reply to the trustees email or something? I don't think you should field all these questions.
Sure.
I think it's you know, coming from the board, I think that was kind of. Just we would maybe send it from the board, you know.
We can do it from the trustees email.
Okay, yeah, so,
Although the one, technically the MailChimp, you know, or newsletter mail, that comes technically from me, from the director account.
just get the email list from that. And we'll
Yeah.
send them.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, so get. Sure.
You have to send them like.
Yeah.
If you would have tried.
Yeah.
It's been done before. Any other comments, feedback on that or?
Put this on a letter or anything like that and have it accessible to people on the board or whoever, or the library staff to just have on hand.
Right, good idea.
No,
Just the content.
I can put it onto the letterhead and just. Thank you, send it out. Yeah.
And Kim, you'll go over with the staff.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Last time, did people come in and ask questions of the staff about this or?
It's been a long time.
I feel like it is. We have the forms out there.
Yeah.
And we had public meetings.
Well,
Trying to invite people
try
to
to.
do things. Not many people showed up.
That's no.
We should. And we had a guy hanging out of the back of his car. Sites including polling places.
He was, however, 100 feet away.
That's a great picture.
Street show, okay, look over here. You'll keep a copy of the petition so that we have that for our records and also so we can. If we want to message them.
I have, if you want to take a look at past set of petition.
Because otherwise, you know, we talked about the fact that you reached out to people that had specifically who had signed or whatever, so I just want to make sure we have.
Yeah, no, I'll return copies. I think I see that.
Thank you.
You feel good about the line not being crossed for advocacy? Yeah. We can't ask you to vote for it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's fast.
I mean, obviously, we want you to, but I mean, we're not doing anything.
Right. I mean, it also,
I mean, we'll close the library if you don't. do
and
it.
the other thing about this is that fund is being used. Which is. Sort of now. Like, you and your ill cats. Staff is not involved with us here.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Right, cool, thank you. All right, so move on to fundraising.
So we have one thing that we're still kind of in the works with this, and that's right now we're calling it summer fundraising event, which we can change the name of that. But the date we're looking at is the 23rd of August, which is going to coincide with the end of summer reading program and the new resident welcome, which I guess you guys can talk about how that part of it works, because I don't know.
Well, just for the summer reading, we usually just do an ice cream party for the kids, and then they hand in their timesheets, and then they can get their tickets to try and win prizes, which is another thing that's gonna be a little different this year. So I'm not gonna be getting as many prizes. We're just gonna do like maybe 1 or 2 per age group, just to simplify things a little bit. And
What time is that part of it?
it can be anytime.
Okay, we haven't decided on.
No, I mean, usually I have it around 11, so that,
At 11.
right.
Is the fire department coordinating its thing with the fourth often?
No, shows them.
The next day, so I was thinking people might be more likely to be around.
Well, we used to do something in between for the people walking back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Have an event in between thing. Street closed.
Well, we're kind of hoping for this to be a pretty big thing. We're gonna have new residents coming. We're gonna try to have a musical event that will be really appealing, because the kids will have done the summer reading finale. Those families will be here already. The new residents will come, learn about the library. Hopefully we can sort of show off. We can at the children's room. And we were also talking about having hot dogs and hamburgers and maybe chili dogs and things like that.
Did you decide against the barbecue thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it just would, it like that has to all be pre-ordered ahead of time, and
Oh,
it just
wow.
wouldn't work for this. So we were trying to figure out, like, because it's a fundraiser, how are we gonna make money? Like, that's the whole purpose of this. So I did call the health department about it too, just to see, like, what do we need here? Like, can we do this? And she was great. She called me like back within 10 minutes. And she said the only thing we need, just because this is like not a weekly or monthly thing, it's kind of like a one-time, like summer, because I said it was like a summer event. She said we don't need any kind of certificates or any kind of permits or anything. We would just need, she said, you can keep it really simple. She said you can even use like a thing that you would use for like a water dispenser that has water coming out, that you have soap, and like you have a bucket underneath it. Like you just have that somewhere on the
You
premises.
have to have a place where you can watch.
Yeah, that's all you have to have. It's simple, because when she said, oh, yeah, and I was like, oh, well, what would that mean? She goes, oh, super simple. Like just get a bucket, a dispenser.
They rent
some
them
soap.
too, porta potty.
Yeah.
Probably you could do, beach water.
Mhm.
Are you having outside, like porta potty?
We were talking about, the other thing we were wondering about is if we're having the musical event, we would like to have the tent, because if it rains, and it sounds like if it goes the way we want it to, we're gonna have a lot of people.
I don't think
but
with the
would
tent
we-
though, like,
It costs
sorry,
quite a bit.
that is, like, when I said to Vinny, when we were talking about it, this whole thing, and I said it's $400 to set it up and $400 to take it down. He's like, that's $800, like, just for the tent? Like, how much do we think we're gonna make here?
So I
Like,
guess the question is, will you be doing other things throughout the summer where we could have it up for the entire summer? And you're having, so it's not money coming out of this fundraiser, it's money that goes towards programming.
My experience with
It
tents, you
would-
don't get them for very long.
No, we have.
We
it.
have
Oh, we have a tent.
Yeah.
But it's $800 for them to put it
It's
up.
the setting up.
Okay.
So, I think the question is it something that you would get a lot of value out of?
It's too wet back there, so that's the problem. Oh, yeah, yeah, and I think where we usually put the tent, or where it can go, is where it starts to pool up. I'm going to be having the bubble lady. I'm hoping we're going to be able to use that backspace, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that we're going to be able to use it. But I don't know that I would use it for much.
Like we would, I mean, we could probably use it for the invertebrates, but that's on Monday, or on the 30th. We could probably use it for the end of summer reading, but we probably wouldn't use it that much either. I wouldn't.
That's a lot. No, I agree. I just.
Yeah.
Not really use it.
Gonna be using regularly, it wouldn't go against the fundraiser specifically. It should be-
I don't think we would use it that much.
Okay, so what do we do in the event of, I mean, we could have a rainy day, but
Can't we have like, we have a pop-up tent, people.
We could do some
can borrow
pop-up
people's
tents.
My father-in-law has like
We
a
have
big
one.
tent
okay,
that I'm sure can be up and borrow.
cool, okay.
So I think we can maybe just pull together stuff like that.
And then the other thing is the musical, like, do we want to pay some other band that's really good, like the band that you had? Would that be part of the cost of the fundraiser, or would that be?
We could take that out of our programming
just be
budget.
programming.
We could have it as a program, which would be nice. I mean, that to me is a
Because
good.
that was one of the things we were kind of talking about, because we originally were looking for someone who would be donating their musical talent, just because, again, cutting expenses, like how are we supposed to make money if we have to? But if that was gonna be one of, because I think you've mentioned that you were gonna try to, as a program, get music, so.
Yeah, I mean,
This is
That could
so much less than we have done in the past, but if it's a really good band, that will attract people.
they had a lot of people at so I saw them at the Beer Diviner. The room was packed, so.
My question is, you gave a price for 3 hours. I was wondering if they.
Yeah. Probably, my guess is that they would.
Do what?
2 hours instead.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, what is their name?
So what time were you thinking for do you just want to do it for 2 hours?
Yeah, well, so the kids are gonna be here for the reading from 11 to 12.
Yep.
Then from 12 to 2. We have, first we have people come in, see the library, the new residents, meet people, then, so maybe 1 to 3 is the music. We want people to hang around. And then do that.
2 hours is plenty.
1 to 3?
3 is long, yeah.
So quick question, and I have something else on the music thing. So the fundraising aspect of this would be the food sales?
Unless people have other ideas.
I think the food sales, and if it's a band that really attracts people, we could charge for the band.
Well,
I don't think we can do
Not
that,
if,
though.
if it's a program.
Oh,
we can't do
yeah.
that.
Everybody could- everyone would be-
And also, I don't think we
Mixing.
could do that anyways, because like if people are just coming, if they're already here for the
Yeah, you can't.
reading, you can be like, oh, wait, you're staying,
Yeah.
you need to pay,
Yeah,
And anything that they put in like a jar goes to the band, right?
Yeah, past the hat.
oh, for
Yeah.
tips, yeah,
Yeah.
but we could say, we're, if you want to give the library, yeah.
Part of it is to invite new people in too. It's a little weird maybe to charge them to show up if it's a welcome to Stephentown or whatever, then you're having a cookout, then you're kind of like giving them a hamburger. You're charging $5, right? Come out, see what.
Well, but if it's like, come see the library, get some live music, if you want, you can buy food.
Yeah.
Like,
And on the thing, just like available for purchase or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
Or maybe we provide new residents, when we know they're new residents, a ticket toward their food.
This is just to the point that we're basically.
Yeah.
It's like you're tacking on to another event that's about another
But
thing.
the
Now you're
reason
adding
we
this
were-
thing and then it's a
The
thing.
reason we were tacking on was because it's a big separate event. So we're not- This is like the big one, and the new resident things have been cool, but there's not that much going on, and this is more of a draw.
it's kind of like inviting new residents to come to see what a program would be like.
Yeah.
Or to.
I know when we came back to town and we came to the new residents, it was nice, but it was all new residents. I wanted to like mingle with some of the people, the townspeople who were here, and there were a few, but like it was very like. It would be more of a community, which was what I was kind of assuming that it was going to be more like when I brought the kids down. It's like, let's meet some of the people that you're gonna like know and be around. So I think that having the mix of it in this instance might be
Yeah.
a plus.
Fresh squeezed lemonade, I could donate all the
That would be
time.
so much fun.
I could use, I have a juicer. and I
Even
could-
we have a juicer upstairs.
We could have juices.
And we have the ice machine. Is the ice machine out? I don't know that the ice machine's ours. I think it's the camps. But we could get it though.
Yeah. And it would charge a lot.
Fresh squeezed
Can
lemon.
you
is
use
really
them
hard.
cricket?
Very fun.
Can you trick them with SMS?
Yes. We have to.
No, we want you to
Great idea.
Paint them.
Well, you were gonna do baskets too.
Yeah, but it would be like just a few things, but more of like at the rescue group, like we do two different things. We do the silent auction like we've had in the past year, but then we'll do also like raffle baskets where people will buy raffle tickets and put them in, which would have to be for this, because like at the trivia, everybody's there till the end, where this, people are coming and going. So that way, if they get it, we call them, we tell them it's at the library, come pick up the basket. So.
Guys probably remember, I forget what we used to do, the lemonade and the burgers, what event that was, book sale?
Book sale.
What, I know that's a different event. but
Yeah.
How did that perform? Do you remember?
We can
The
look.
lemonade was okay. I mean, we're charging like $253 for.
And it was an all-day event. And in fact, it was 2 days.
Yeah.
It was Saturday and Sunday, so we did stuff. 2 days.
I think the one thing that made a lot of money was when we did that brunch. And it was all of that. People really
Yeah.
liked that. And we had the menu out there and everybody made stuff. And then we just had it available and you could, yeah, it was like a potluck and then people paid at the end of it, you know.
Yeah, people like that.
That was before the pandemic. That was probably.
Yeah, we-
Mhm. So those are definitely that I know
And we
people
get
really
people
like.
donate, then we get the donate, we go to the stores and go.
Right.
We only did it once a year, like everybody will do it for you once, like you can kind of go begging once a
Right.
year. If you're doing a silent auction or you're doing the, tickets and giveaway, stuff like that, like you've already done it. It's harder to get gift certificates and other
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, with what we
Well,
have a
that's
list
kind
of
we've
who
been
we've
doing.
asked, so that way we're not hitting up the same people all the time.
One other thing on the music thing, I'm sitting mentions. Bill Musso was gonna talk to me, Kim, so he, he wanted to do just a nice community event, with music. He knows the band Cersei.
Really? Yeah, no, I know Cersei.
Okay, so,
That's a big band.
yeah, so he thinks that they would do a free thing, but it would have to be.
A free thing?
It would have to be a weeknight. So he wanted to originally do it as part of the fire department. It often happens, that didn't go well.
What?
So then he was like,
Imagine that.
maybe I should. Grounds aren't good. But then he said, well, maybe he could do the event at the because he thinks it would attract a lot of. So anyway, again, I know it wouldn't be a weekend. Then they're doing the extent, but just throwing it out there as either a.
I wonder if that might be something, I mean, it's just a thought, because we're not probably going there, I'm just gonna say that. But what about New Lebanon, maybe?
Sure.
I mean, I think that could be an option.
Could we do stuff across the street, like do stuff across the street? That wouldn't solve the tent thing, but.
Yeah, I don't.
Lebanon is a pretty huge space. You could get a lot of.
And I mean, that costs us $100.
Yeah.
They're great.
It's $100. It's.
And then we
And how
could
is
be
that?
selling food as a.
Elisa's really.
But then that doesn't work with the new resident because.
No.
You wouldn't get them
Come and
here.
See the library.
No, I know, but are we saying this is a separate thing? Separate thing? right?
Oh, so we could spend, yeah.
Now, we could also, they
It was
would,
across the street, you could.
Mhm.
You
That's
could
a
get
lot.
them involved. and
that's a
they-
lot going
You
on.
tour the
first.
cheese, tour the cheese factory in the library, they join that, and they sponsor it. You could go back and forth.
But then they're doing,
You're
are
right.
they doing something the next day?
No, the next weekend
Oh,
or
the
the
weekend
weekend before.
So they're-
Yeah.
So I mean, it could work as a different event.
Yeah, it would have to be a different event because the 23rd is Saturday.
And they'd be donating their time, but we could, I mean, we could ask for a donation like at the door and advertise it as that, like a, however, to also generate more money. Yeah, yeah. I mean, even if it was like $10.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I don't know, since it's Bill's connection, he was thinking it was just a nice community event.
Oh, and not a
I didn't
fundraiser.
think of it as a funny.
Okay,
Just-
gotcha.
just do it,
Gotcha.
but-
So,
But I think-
Sell.
or
Open
if
to like. yeah,
if they don't
we could
wanna
sell food.
do that, we could sell food and still make money at it as a community
Right.
music night.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So we should talk about that then at a later date.
Kind of like the food truck events that, like what is it, the church for Luke?
Yeah, the round.
School church, the round.
The round one, yeah.
They bring in, they have like, band not playing, but the food trucks come in and the food trucks, we could just
Do
But
something like that.
different.
So we would need like some grills too. And like, I think maybe we can kind of all decide, you know, once we decide what we're gonna do, what we're gonna need. Like you had said, like the lemonade thing, and you have a juicer and like all that kind of stuff. We'll have to meet and see what we need and then talk to everybody about what we can.
Yeah, we can manage them.
School's over in a week, so we'll have time.
School's been over for me. I'm already deep in.
You're just like.
Today. Nothing at school.
We need to find a new residence. And how did you get that list? Lawrence?
Zillow. Just looking at what houses sold on Zillow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then,
Right, it's
Wow.
writing down the addresses.
Scientific.
So what are we, I'm kind of confused now as to what we're doing. We're gonna do,
Yeah.
Yeah, recap. At a unknown time, we are going to connect with Bill, who knows Cersei, and we're gonna have a free concert. At the concert, you can buy food. We will raise money that way. Period. Then
that would
on
be a new Lebanon or something.
TBD, but yeah, and then on 8/23, we'll have the summer reading program, end of summer reading program. Transition into concert with options to buy food, drinks, raffle tickets, etc.
And the new
We could
resident.
even do like face painting, you know, donations,
Do
stuff like.
some other stuff to kind of keep people here, keep.
Kids.
Set up cornhole.
I was thinking about
Are
that.
you still doing the Sunday party at the end of the summer reading? So that's happening too.
yeah, that
There'll
would
be
be
a
at the same
bunch of
time.
major on Sunday for
Oh, yeah.
Stewart's ice cream.
Yep.
So
So that's the 11 o'clock was when we would do that
Now,
for
do
the
you need
kiddos.
to keep those kids separate from the new resident kids, or could they all blend?
No, everybody can blend. We like to blend here.
Well, the other one too, though, it's the different timing, because that's gonna be at 11. And then the other stuff.
Bring the families. We could also do, if there are families who don't want to do the summer reading stuff, we could have some things to do outside. I've got a bunch of games that I made up for a carnival that I did one year.
Yeah.
That we could, you know,
Every respect. I've got lawn darts. They're like, oh,
Right,
we don't wanna kill
right.
anybody.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you set up like, you know, four of them and say, you know, $1 to play cornhole, I mean, it's, you know. There's a guy that runs.
Oh, we
first.
should ask, and I bet you any amount of money, Larry.
They hire this guy, and he brings his whole thing and sets it up and he runs it. I don't know, it just seems cornhole is.
How do you cook something in plastic?
In Texas, they play watcher. I don't know. Tell me every
Oh, you pour the hot water. Oh, that's how I make corn at home, is I just put it.
Want me in charge of the corn and stuff? Cause I have no idea how to do that.
It sounds, you just boil the water and then throw it in the cooler and then that's how I make my corn. I just boil the water, throw it, and then when it's boiling, I throw it in, put the lid on, and then it's turning up, heat on. Okay, so do we want to try and have, so I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the guy who, the band, but it's Narrow North is what they're called. And I can see if he won't be willing to do like a 2-hour set for maybe $250 or $200, and then a free hot dog.
There you go.
But
32 ounce cup.
Dollars and food. Yeah.
So-
$2.
so I'll try and get in touch with him and continue this conversation to see if we can get him to come. He did say though, process of scheduling a festival, but they may be able to work something in depending on the time. I'm hoping maybe because it'll be earlier.
Yeah, maybe they can do something. Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, so I'll,
Now, we,
The trick is that we don't really have a rain backup plan, correct?
right, well,
that's the
And
trick.
we can't have the Sunday be the rain backup because it's the fire.
Well, if it's a rainy summer, by the time August comes around, it might be pretty soft and weird back there, even if it's not raining.
yeah.
Right.
It's the mud. It's the mud.
That's how much you said that you were
Right.
talking.
Well, we used to have a lot of.
What about
it?
You could do cornhole in the driveway, in the parking lot.
We could fit a lot of people,
And set up your
in the
food,
parking lot if we
set
wanted
up
to
your
do it
food
that
and
way.
things.
If we have like,
And if it rains, maybe we can see if we can use, for the concert at least, use the Four Fat Bells space.
I think we had talked about this, but we didn't know the answer. Are there picnic tables?
Mhm.
There are, do you know how
I
many?
think we have, it's either 5 or 6.
Okay, and we have those here.
They're in the shed.
Okay.
Would you like them all?
Well, we had to get rid of, yeah,
Did you cart, what's a couple of?
Yes.
them?
The numbers is TBD.
Right.
I mean, we have all these.
So the committee will.
We'll meet again, but
reconvene
keep the
and- So the
23rd.
23rd
is-
is the.
Yeah. Keep that.
Maybe the rain date would be the following Saturday or something like that.
The following Saturday is Labor Day.
I think I'm aware.
Going back to school.
Right, so-
Yeah, I'm out of town.
So no rain date.
The rainy day is before the actual.
Fourth of colors, the 14th, I think, so we can before this thing.
Notes that you want to hear it. Getting your
Oh, yeah, I heard that's.
All right. Anything else on fundraising you need to talk about tonight? Any old business? Public? Got anything to say?
I'm sure I've already said some.
No correspondence? We have a motion to adjourn. I'm gonna make the motion. I think it's a, I think it's a.
I'll second it.
Thanks, everybody.